Hello there, I'm going to be showing you all the gears that I use on my heroes. These are mostly optimized for damage. You might disagree with me on a couple of these. So starting off with the Ghost and SMGs. The I part is really good because it gives you negative primary weapon spread and movement speed, which are both really good stats to have. And the arm part gives you +4 to hero's primary weapon clip size, which is really big when I think it's only like maybe 14 in a clip without anything. And it gives pickup time for upgrades, which is not that important, but if you don't have this, you could also use the spike shoulder, but it's not going to be as good. And the heart part gives +5 health per second to the hero and +3 primary weapon against enemy health, which is really important, just that extra damage. And for this, you could either use the tech knee pads or the runner's boots. I'm using the runner boots because of the extra movement speed, but if you want a little more damage, this will help your fire rate out a little bit. And then just thug knuckles for the primary weapon damage against enemy health, which is always nice. And gas grenade for the armor penetration, which just allows you to shoot through their armor. And then for Freddy, it's pretty much the same thing. All the same things except for this thing, because he has 30 shots in a magazine, or 28 I guess. This extra 4 shots wouldn't be quite as important, so I am just running the spike shoulder. And then for Raven, I'm just using all the same stuff as I used for Ghost. Just arm part, tech knee pads, thug knuckle, gas grenade, eye part, arm part, heart part. And then for Angel, it's the same thing, except for, I don't know why I had this equipped. Alternatively to the heart part, you could use infantry vest if you want a little more health, or you could use reflex implant if you want a little less fire spread. But I'm using the heart part. Alright, moving on to the shotgun hero, starting off with Sparkle. I am using 3/4 of the set, so I have the eye, the heart, the leg, and the collar. So the eye just gives aimed fire range and vision range, which are both pretty nice. And the heart gives primary weapon damage against enemy armor and maximum armor. And then for the leg, you get +3 primary weapon fire rate and +2% movement speed. This is basically the combination of runner boots and tech knee pads. But if you don't use shotguns all that much and you don't want to upgrade this, you could use just the runner boots and the tech knee pads, either of these. And then just the spike shoulder for the armor penetration. And then you can use the white index collar. This will give you +2 primary weapon damage against enemy health. It's better than your thug knuckle, so if you have the gears to spend and you're using shotguns enough to make it worth it, use it on this, because this gives an extra 1% versus this, and it's part of a set, so you get the bonus. And for the set, you get +5 primary weapon damage against enemy armor and -10 to primary weapon reloading time. So that's pretty nice. And then just the gas grenade for the armor penetration. So that's what I'm using for Sparkle. And then for Hurricane, I changed out a couple things, and I changed out the heart for the reflex implant for that fire spread, just so that more of your buckshot will go into the enemy. And I believe the rest is the same. And then for Arnie, this is the same stuff that I have for Sparkle. So just all this right here. Cyclops, the same stuff as most of the other shotgun guys. All this right here. Alright, moving on to snipers now. Got Blot here. So I went with the combat headband here. You could also use the tactical optics, but I like the extra aimed fire range. This gives you your bullet spread without aiming, which is really nice too. I like to be able to reach that a little bit further. And then I went with the reflex implant. This gives negative primary weapon spread, which is really important with Blot, just so that you have a higher chance of hitting somebody. And then I went with the arm dark implant, and this gives +4 primary piercing power, so this will help you pierce through heroes and walls better, which is now important after the update. And it gives negative primary weapon aimed fire spread. Both things that are pretty nice. And with 2 gears, you unlock plus primary weapon damage against enemy health. And then thug knuckles for the damage. And you can either go Exploder for the extra vision range or gas grenade, depending on what you like. And then for Slayer, it's the same thing. So you can either go for tactical optics for the extra negative primary weapon fire spread, or you can go for the combat headband for the extra reach. And the rest of the gears are the same. And then for Mirage, we got pretty much the same stuff. So combat headband, and I went with the heart for the extra set, because the set gives +5 primary weapon damage against enemy health, and you don't need the reflex implant with her because her scope is already so small. And then you can trade the Dark Predator set for the tech knee pads, so you get extra fire rate, and the rest of the gear is the same. You can either use Exploder or gas grenade. And for Firefly, I went with pretty much the same thing as I had for Mirage, so I have the heart, dark implant and the arm dark implant. Those are the only 2 gears, and I have runner boots just because Firefly can be pretty slow. You could also go for the fire rate, but I went with the runner boots. Now for the tanks. For Smog, I'm just using protective glasses so I can see further. Like for the tanks, the set is really not that good. Like if you look at all the set bonuses, primary weapon piercing power, maximum armor, and primary weapon damage against enemy armor, that last stat's nice, but you have to equip 6 gears to get it, so it's not really worth it. So I just went with protective glasses just so you can see further around you. And this is just about the only good tank gear. So this one just gives primary weapon armor penetration, which is really nice. So you can either use this or you can use the infantry vest for more health, whatever you like. And then the spike shoulder gives primary weapon armor penetration, which is always good with any hero. And then again, you can do tech knee pads or runner's boots, thug knuckles again, and gas grenade. And I suppose if you wanted, you could use echo radar, which will give you a larger vision range, which might be nice for him because you can use the rocket, but I just went with a gas grenade. Dragoon, it's all the same stuff I have equipped on Smog. Same thing for Bastion. And then for Bertha, the only thing I changed was I equipped one of these sets. This one is not the greatest, but it's mostly just for the extra 2 primary weapon piercing power. Now for the assault rifles. So we got Stalker. So for your head, you got like a couple options here. You can either go protective glasses for vision range. You can go combat headband for aimed fire range, or you can go bio node. This gives bullet spread without aiming and movement speed with no aiming penalty. And it's mostly just to get 2 gears equipped, so you can get +2 primary weapon armor penetration. And then go for the bio node heart. This gives primary weapon piercing power and primary weapon armor penetration. And then spike shoulder again, that's just generally the one you want to go with. And then again, tech knee pads or runner boots, thug knuckle, and gas grenade for the extra armor penetration. And then for Levy, you're gonna either want to go with the combat headband for the extra aimed fire range, or for the bio node eye for the extra 2 primary weapon armor penetration. And all the same gears, except for what you can do is you can either equip the exploder or the gas grenade. Exploder is going to be nice because it's going to help you reach out a little bit further, but gas grenade is always a little bit more damage, so you can decide what you want there. And then Satoshi, all the same stuff as the other ones. I think I'm actually going to swap that out for the gas grenade. And I actually have a personal gear here, so I would use thug knuckles. That gives an extra primary weapon damage against enemy health, but because Satoshi already does so much damage, I decided to go with the Satoshi Cyber Ring. So this gives a ton of vision range and negative primary weapon fire spread while moving, which are both really nice things to have. So I believe that is all of the heroes. And don't forget to drop me a subscribe so you don't miss out on my next uploads. Peace out.